Welcome to Channel AMAC, your insight to the Australian visa system. Good day everyone, my name is Cao Yang, your online YouTube visa consultant. Are you interested in migrate to Australia? Why don't you consider to subscribe to my channel and turn on the bell on the side so once all the updates and news, you'll be the first one getting all the insight. Now today's video, I would like to answer a common question that I've been periodically receiving from comments, emails, and whatnot, apps and chats and things like that. It's regards to the question regards the which state should I really choose preferred to actually go first, study abroad and skill migrate with. So I just wanted to be more like a friend chatting in this. Well, I've been always like this in this channel to just have a chat, discussions, and also welcome for all the comments that people feel how they preferred in the topic of what we talked about today. Now, first of all, we need to know the common criteria in regards to skill migration. Obviously, there is upcoming changes and updates on the point test system, which once it changes, I'll get everybody updated again. But the concept should all be consistent with just the way they calculate the points. It's going to be differently. All right, now we're talking about the state preferences and state nomination. Obviously, we need to first relate to the subclass 190. Now, obviously, some people would like to go to 491, but 491 is not a direct permanent residency option. 190 is. So usually this will be the ultimate preference options for the state nomination, because you get nominated and you get once the visa granted, you get permanent residency straight away. Despite that, we're talking about that, we do know there's a lot of backlog going on. It's not just 190, it's 189, 491 as well, and 191 as well. Reason of is because the new point test is coming out, so they are just dragging along. We have seen a trend recently. They just like to delay the visa applications so that they can control the numbers of migrant influx, which is not a very good practice. But in order to reach their political role and not to raise up the issue on the housing crisis, so that's how they gotta do it. It's nasty, it's bad, but well, we can't, nothing much we can do about it apart from letting everybody know publicly through a YouTube channel or Facebook. So you may want to share this information along for everybody. Previously, we don't have this kind of technology to share the information, so everybody will be sort of blacked out in regards to what the government is actually doing. But this is the trend that we have seen recently. They are using the way to first of all delay, backlog, or sometimes refusing some of the with unreasonable decision making through the process. Anyway, let's come back to the area of the skill nominated visa subclass 190. So first of all, we need to know the common criteria is obviously we need to get at least 65 points. Without having 65 points, if you want to know more about the points, there's a point calculator there. You may want to go in there. I've done a lot of videos explain this. Without 65 points, you won't be able to even pick any other state at all. But the minimum is you need to get 60 points, because you get extra 5 points by being nominated by a particular state. So 60 points is the at least threshold, the minimum, okay, and the extra 5 points that you get is from the state nomination. So you need to get this done, and you need to have skill assessment done, and you need to have at least IELTS 6 or above. So that's competent English there. So that's the common area that everybody should have. Without this, talking about state nomination or skill migration is, it's wasting time, it's nonsense, it's just, you're not gonna get it anywhere. So you need to get first of all skill assessed, positive, obviously. If you get a negative one, so forget about skill migration. And secondly, you need to get at least IELTS 6. That's a minimum, okay? And for the points, you need to get minimum 60 points, and you get that extra 5 points. That's from the state nomination. Now, if you want to know all the states, and they changes all the time, okay, you may want to go to our channel and just go through. If you go here, you see our channel here, and then you go to the playlist, and obviously you'll see state nomination. I've got all the playlists, all the video talking about state nomination in this playlist, so you can click in there and find out all the different states nomination and criteria there. So I'm not going to go through all the states today, but I'd like to talk about this. So how do you pick and choose the preferred or the best state that's suitable for you? Now, first of all, obviously you need to meet that criteria of 60 point at minimum, okay? Then you should really think about your occupation. Now, the key here is you need to pick a state that has obviously have options that allows you to be more employable, okay? That means, different state has different preferred occupation or skill or talents that they want, and you want to pick those state that is highest ratio that will get you employed. Okay, so if you think about ICT, you probably wanted to. There's a couple of states that you wanted to be in, for example, Sydney, Melbourne, or perhaps Brisbane. And if you think about engineer, perhaps mining or naval engineer, you're probably thinking about Western Australia. So the key here, I wanted to, transfer this knowledge and information to everybody who wanted to come to Australia, is that you need to find a state. So you do need to do your own research. We're here to guide you, directions where you need to, the direction of your research should be. Okay, so again, naval architects, preferable. You might want to pick Western Australia. So keywords here: employability. Okay, employable. Find the location, regions that you believe from what your skills and your talents will be most employable. The employability is the key for the future, and obviously it's the key for your career as well. So think about this. It's pretty common sense, rather than a lot of people has been the problem here is a lot of people has been directed or somehow manipulated by a lot of education agents, where they should really just go, study a cookery course, study a carpentry course, you get a job. Yes, you get a job, but is it really your wish or interest for your career? Probably not. So I think you should really line up with your interest and with the employability. That is the key for your future, because the happier, the joyful that you really enjoy working and employed, the better performance that you have. The better performance you have, the better and easier the way that you actually get you get jobs, you get sponsored, and then obviously you get stay nominated. So that's the key here. So again, if you really enjoy, for example, hospitality, right? A lot of people still love hospitality management, things like that. So then you pick the places that you really wish for. For example, Gold Coast. It's a city of hospitality and travel and tourism, right? If you really think about the marine biology and things like that, you probably pick somewhere in northern Queensland, and things like that. And you really think about environmental and study in the rainforest and things like that, you probably pick Northern Territory. So then you look into those interests and the employability of your future. Then you go dig out, or perhaps you go to my channel and search. For example, you go to the state nomination playlist, right? And then you go in to find the particular state that you think that the preferred occupation or your talent will actually fit, and have a look at the detail in there. Then you match up the detail that the skill talent, for example, you need to get jobs, 6 months of employment contract or things like that. So Western Australia has its own different definition of criterias. Obviously, once the new point test system is out every state would change again. We are all waiting for that day to happen, and then you try to match what the criteria of that state requires. For example, South Australia has different one, Tasmania has different one. Tasmania probably will focus more on, I don't know, architect and things like that. And you think about your occupation, the interest of the job or occupation or role that you want to be, and then you do the research of which region of the Australia's big is better and for employability in order for you to be there. Now, the reason I said this to everybody is obviously don't get guided or directed by education agent alone, okay? And follow what your interest and how you were born to be. That's first thing. And secondly, if you find an employable job or occupation that you're going to be in, now, even if the state nomination that you've been waiting for to be invited never happened, you can also get employed by employer sponsor visa, which is going to come up with a skills in demand visa. And that way, 2 years being employed, you'll be able to have pathway to permanent residency as well. So again, the tactic here is to focus on your interest and match up with the employability of that region, because you don't want to go Northern Territory to study naval architect. You probably get no job there. You don't want to go Northern Territory to study ICT. You probably get least job there. And you don't want to go study silviculture in perhaps, I don't know, Tasmania, probably. I know you probably don't get much of job opportunity there as well. You don't want to go to Sydney and study. I don't think there's a mining engineer in Sydney anyway. But that should be the direction that you'll be heading towards. So if you can graduate with the high employability, then you will have two options. One, actually three. You can go 189, that's independent skill migration, or state nomination 190, or being employer sponsor through 482, or the new skills in demand visa and pathway to permanent residence 2 years later. Anyway, should you have more question or query, more than welcome to leave comment right down below, and I'll see you next video. Goodbye.